Hey friends, welcome to a Saturday Mike Talk. I'm so glad that you guys are with us today. It's a very special day. I'll get to that in just a moment. Here at Song and Sword, we proclaim Jesus with the song of grace and the sword of truth. And I'm excited to tell you today, before that, I want to say some happy birthdays to Rudy Phillips and to Ellie Carlock and to Georgie Pedigo. Happy birthday to all you guys, part of the Song and Sword family. Text prayer to that number on the screen because we want to pray with you and for you. Tomorrow is the Lord's Day. Don't miss it. I hope you come to church, Jefferson Street, 401 Jefferson Street, downtown Bloomington, and join us there at 9 or 10:30. But if you can't do that, here online tomorrow we'll have another great sermon about how kings took advice and bad advice and how you and I can do better. Here's the good news. Here's the exciting thing. Are you ready for this? It's the 5-year anniversary of Mike Talks. 2 of them completely here with Song and Sword. And to commemorate 5 years, you might be saying, what caused all this? If you've not been around, 5 years ago, COVID hit, nobody could go anywhere, and I started broadcasting a daily devotion called Mike Talk because I'm clever that way. But in honor of that, we are making my daughter-in-law, everybody's got all these cool thermos things, hot, cold thermos things, really cool, that you carry around. It's really like a status symbol now, but now we're going to make some Song and Sword Mike Talk 5-year anniversary. They got some coffee beans on it, and we're going to offer them to you. Now, this is a very limited offer, and the price is higher than most of the stuff we've sold at Song and Sword. It's $35. And if you want one, it's going to be a very limited time. And you might say, well, why so expensive? Well, this stuff is not cheap. It takes time to make them. And we can't just stock a bunch of them and keep them in stock. We can't afford to do that right now. So if you want one, then contact Monica at songandsword.com, Monica at songandsword.com. And my genius daughter-in-law will make you one of these to commemorate 5 years. Also, let us know if you've been watching for 5 years, 4 years, 3 years. Any anecdotal stories you got about it. We're excited. And Lord willing, we're going to keep going. People keep saying, how long are you going to do that? I'm like, as long as the Lord allows me to wake up in the mornings and open the Bible, I might as well share it with you guys. So thank you guys for your support. Couldn't do it without a bunch of people watching. I mean, we probably get as many as 600 or 700 people watching daily. And that means a lot to me. So thank you all for sticking with us and being a part of this. I want to close out 2 Samuel. Hopefully you've read through 2 Samuel this week. If not, still got a few hours to do that before church tomorrow. But Absalom, we said, was after David's kingdom. His son was trying to overthrow him, and there was a battle that ensued over the kingdom. And David was too old to go to war, but his warriors went out, and the end of the result was that Absalom was defeated and King David won. He's still, remember, away from Jerusalem, but now he's able to move home. But first, David has to deal with a couple of things. I'm going to start at the end of 2 Samuel chapter 18, verse 33. The king, here's what happened. He heard that his son Absalom was dead. The king was deeply moved and went up to the chamber above the city gate and wept. As he walked, he cried, "My son Absalom, my son Absalom, if only I had died instead of you. Absalom, my son, my son." And then chapter 19 starts this way. It was reported to Joab, the king is weeping. He's mourning over Absalom. That day's victory was turned into mourning for all the troops because on that day the troops heard the king is grieving over his son. So they returned to the city quietly that day, like troops come in when they are humiliated after fleeing in battle. But the king covered his face and cried loudly, "My son Absalom, Absalom, my son, my son." Then Joab went into the house of the king and said, "Today you have shamed all your soldiers, those who saved your life as well as those of your sons and your wives and your concubines, by loving your enemies and hating those who love you. Today you have made it clear that the commanders and soldiers mean nothing to you. In fact, today I know that if Absalom were alive and all of us were dead, it would be fine with you. Now get up, go out and encourage your soldiers, for I swear by the Lord that if you do not go out, not a man will remain with you tonight. This will be worse for you than all the trouble that's come upon you from your youth until now." So the king got up and he sat in the city gate, and all the people were told, "Look, the king is sitting in the city gate." Then they all came into the king's presence. This is a very important lesson for all of us. It's a great lesson for leaders, but it's a lesson we learned from David in both one of the most victorious times of his life and the most mournful times of life. Have you noticed that in life? Life sometimes these two things intersect. You're having some of the greatest things ever happen to you, and then all of a sudden you have something that's really bad in the middle of that happens. The win is that David's army won. He's going to get his kingdom restored. And these men have been out there fighting, putting their life on the line, blood, sweat, and tears, physically, literally. And then in this battle, because his son was his enemy, declared by Absalom, not him, Absalom is killed in the battle. And so David's father's heart is sad because Absalom's dead. But Joab, the commander of his army, remember the ruthless Joab, the sons of Zeruiah who always want to kill people. He comes in, he has a moment with David. He's very bold. He goes into David, says, David, I cannot believe people are sneaking in to this city. It should be a time of celebration and joy and victory and you thanking people and appreciating what's been done. But instead, all you can do is think about Absalom. I bet you guys, you wish that we were all dead and Absalom were still alive. And he says this really powerful thing. He says, if you don't go out and show the people that you're grateful to them, if you don't go out and let them know that you appreciate what they've done, then they're not going to be around by morning and you'll have no army left to return to Jerusalem. It's a harsh lesson for David because, in fact, he is in really a lot of pain in his heart because of his son. But it's important that no matter what's going on in your life, you thank the people around you that have gone on the journey with you. One of the things that I've just tried to do the last year or so is to thank a number of people who have been with us from the very beginning. We started Song and Sword, and a lot of people stood with us, stuck their neck out, and came and helped start this new work that God's doing, and in a way that we never could have. And there have been times of mourning, and there have been times of sadness. There's been times of what in the world just happened. But there's also times of great joy. And if I haven't said it to you personally, thank you for being with us. I want you to see that I appreciate everything that's been done, every card, every letter, every prayer, every donation. After 5 years of Mike Talks and 2 years of Song and Sword Church, all I can just do is say thank you. I hope you see from my leader's heart that I'm thankful for you sticking with us and for the people that have surrounded us. And I hope you do the same thing today. Look around you. You didn't get where you're at by yourself. You didn't accomplish everything you've accomplished on your own. You didn't achieve the stuff that you've achieved without somebody helping you along the way. Today, it's a good Saturday before we get ready to worship the Lord tomorrow to say thanks. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Happy 5-year-old Mike Talk. Hope we do many more years. God bless you. Peace.